Before you dive into the story, I wanted to give you a little heads up of what's different about this gameplay, because you might have seen other stories, other playthroughs from other content creators on YouTube. This is supposed to be like very intense, light on commentary, a brief preview of combats and boss fights, just so you can like enjoy every episode on a bus ride to work or on a toilet if you take your phone with you when you So, in other words, every episode is about 15 to 17 minutes long. Potentially, there might be longer episodes in the future as I'm still editing some of them. And I really want to make sure that every episode is as wholesome as possible. Overall, what I want it to be: intense, concise, a little bit of funny, a little bit of silly, but to the point, always. Like, convey as much of the story as possible in a single episode. And that's it. So you won't find here any job quests, any side quests, any inventory browsing, nothing like it. There will be like dialogue, blah, 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 something funny, teleport to the next NPC, dialogue, blah, 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 something funny, teleport to the... You know what I mean? Like, this is the way we roll. Dude, ARR has around 300 quests. I won't be torturing you with 150 videos, 45 minutes long each. Because who the fuck wants to watch that? Are you? Oh. Before we actually show you my character, before we actually welcome Bybsie, which is my character that we play, there is a little bit of primer. Actually, after I'm done talking right now here, you will be seeing the primer. It's my react to someone else's video about the backstory to Final Fantasy XIV, how it came together, what's the world like, why it is the way it is, just so we have just a little bit of understanding of what we're playing. Like, just some kind of idea of the environment that we exist in. So, without further ado, welcome to the series. It's gonna take lots of time. I will try to upload 2 to 3 episodes per week. I still predict about 50 to 60 videos in this single playlist. So, good luck. I cross my nips for you so you can survive till the end. And without further ado, fucking enjoy. Thank you. By the way, wait, before we go, since the series is ongoing, most likely, or I don't know when do you watch that, but it's likely that series is ongoing and I'm editing videos as you literally fucking listen to me talk now. I can be in 2 places at the same time. What the fuck you mean? So tell me if there's something wrong immediately. I need quick feedback loop, okay? Because I can fix the error if you tell me, like, something is too fast, something is too slow, there's not enough of something. Tell me, leave a comment and a like, okay? I don't want to see any dislikes, okay? Thank you. And subscribe. Bye. We got this. Are you with me? We good. Look.
Hello, and welcome to Playframe. My name is Dan, and this is the start of a story-focused and rather accelerated playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. Except not today. Today, we are doing a primer.
Big dig! Come on! Let's go!
Final Fantasy XIV is set in a place called Eorzea, and you began the 1.0 version of the game as a freelance adventurer looking for work. You got to choose one of the 3 main city-states in which to begin your journey.
You see, this is what I don't get. Like, because I played the game, so I know a little bit about it. How is it that you are the chosen one? You've been infused with the power of Echo, yet your bank account says peasant. I don't understand how these two go together. How can you be a hero that can't buy Starbucks coffee? It doesn't make any sense. I'm begging for money in the game despite me being the chosen one. Come on, dude. Like, show some respect, you know what I mean?
Gridania, Limsa or Ul'dah, each of which had their own local stories, troubles, and characters to encounter before you were sent off to experience the main plot. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a full recap of the original game story. Honestly, most of the details aren't that important, or even that interesting, and
Yes.
A Realm Reborn does a pretty good job at recapping the things you do need to know going forward. However, there are a few particularly interesting plot points and events that I think are worth going over. Starting with...
Oh! The bad, not good.
Eorzea is the place you call home, but it's just one region in this game's world. There are several land masses on this planet, and one of them belongs to a nation called Garlemald. Where Eorzea is a realm of magic, the domineering Garlean Empire has recently undergone a massive technological revolution.
Mordor. Yes.
Picture the Empire from Final Fantasy XII, and you've basically got the idea. They
No
are
idea.
powerful, and they are eager to expand and conquer their more primitive, magically inclined neighbors, Eorzea included. Their initial attack on Eorzea started pretty well. They quickly occupied one of the other major Eorzean city-states, Alamigo, and they were all set to continue the campaign, but it turns out they were not prepared for the local dragons. Their advance was brought to an abrupt halt when the great dragon Midgard-Sormer brought down their flagship, both crashing into a giant wellspring of ether. Ether is the source of magic in this world. It's more or less the life stream from Final Fantasy VII, basically.
No idea. Okay.
Anyway, the resulting explosion not only destroyed both the flagship and Midgard-Sormer, but also loosed a heck-ton of this ether into the surrounding environment. Ether which some would quickly begin to use in rituals, attempting to summon these magical demigods called primals. And that creates a problem for just about everybody, Eorzea included, because them things is dangerous. The Garleans would fall back for the time being, but this new primal threat only gave them new pretense for military action in Eorzea. Their leaders started to put together plans. We'll get to those in a minute.
So, okay, so there was an attack. So just to, guys, we need to understand what's happening, okay? So there was an attack. Garleans attacked Eorzea. But then Eorzeans shoot down the ship. Ship fell down into the water. The water exploded with ether. And that woke up primals. I'm listening.
But back to you, the player in 1.0, an adventurer working with Eorzea's city-states a decade or so after the Imperial invasion stalled out. You spend your days trying to solve local problems, many of which ultimately have to do with those primals that are now popping up everywhere. Turns out that the other sentient species of Eorzea worship those things, and they keep trying to summon them against you. But during one of your adventures, you witness a particularly flashy meteor shower, and after that point, you start to experience some weird things. It seems that you have somehow developed the ability to magically witness past events. You don't have much control over this power, but it turns out you aren't the only one to suddenly receive this ability. Others in the world have mysteriously developed this power, which they call
My
the
wife,
Echo.
Milphilia.
And one of these people has even created a small underground organization dedicated to using it for Eorzea's protection.
Oh shit.
Much of your time in 1.0 would be spent working with this group and other allies to keep the primals at bay. Assuming, of course, you were actually patient enough to still be playing the 1.0 version of
Well, I will just remind everyone, this is my third attempt. I think that says it all.
the game. As I said before, things looked pretty grim for Final Fantasy XIV at this time. Reviews were abysmal, players were unhappy, and the game was hemorrhaging money by the day. Enter Naoki Yoshida, lovingly known by the community as Yoshi P. Yoshida-san is handed control of Final Fantasy XIV after its disastrous launch. He assesses the situation with his team and determines that, unfortunately, the underlying structure of this game is simply too broken to save. There is no way they can salvage this foundation, much less expand on it in the years to come. So he puts together a plan. They will continue supporting the busted 1.0 version with patches and fixes and the additional content that was already promised, and simultaneously, in the background, they will rebuild Final Fantasy XIV from the ground up, completely replacing 1.0 with this new version once it's ready. It is a risky play, but at this point, Square Enix does not have many better options to prevent long-term damage to one of their biggest brands, so the plan is approved. Final Fantasy XIV 1.0's days are numbered, and Yoshi P wants to send it out with a bang.
So, I wonder what's this guy's background? I mean, sure, you can rely on experts and shit, but as a leader, you have to have some kind of experience in, I know, software engineering, in project management, in productivity and delivery, in resource management, all of that. Like, you can't be a noob. Or should I say, you can't be a sprout. See? I'm already in the mindset.
So the Garlean invasion force has been busy rallying since that dragon fiasco, and the legatus of the 7th Legion, Neil von Darnus, has an idea. Using some ancient technology the Empire's been studying, Darnus proposes that they bring down one of the planet's moons, Dalamud, and drop it on Eorzea meteor style.
God damn it.
Not only would this meteor project quickly eliminate all Eorzean opposition, but the legatus argues that scorched Earth is the only practical solution to the primal threat. A risky strategy, to be sure, but at this point, Garlean leadership is feeling ready to roll the dice, so the plan is approved. Over the next year or so of content patches, as additional features come online, game stability slowly improves, and story content trickles in, players begin to notice the planet's lesser moon turn red, and then grow larger.
What? Huh? Chad, is that for real?
In the sky, and larger and larger. Things in Eorzea start to get weird. Weather patterns change, bizarre monsters start popping up everywhere. Players even begin to see their characters experiencing nightmares when they log in. And as Dalamud gets closer, it becomes increasingly clear there is something very unnatural about the look of this moon. The players eventually succeed in defeating von Darnus and destroying the transmitter they used to bring Dalamud down, and yet, the moon continues to descend. In desperation, the Eorzean Alliance plans one last-ditch operation, a ritual to summon the gods themselves to Eorzea's defense. But the ideal location for this ritual is the predicted point of impact, which is currently occupied by Imperials, so the Alliance readies its armies for a fight on the fields of Carteneau. At this point, the 1.0 server shutdown is drawing near, and things look bleak for Eorzea. Dalamud is so close that it's getting hard to tell day from night. The devs are straight up just spawning monsters inside cities now, and in impossible numbers. All area music has been replaced by a faint vocal rendition of the game's original theme.
Dude! This is next level shit! I love this.
Players either try their best to protect their hometowns from the monster hordes, or simply gather and wait to see what happens next. Then, just as the servers go dark, a new cinematic trailer is released depicting the Battle of Carteneau. Eorzean and Garlean armies fight as Dalamud looms just overhead. Then, unexpectedly, the mechanical moon breaks open, revealing a new and very angry problem. The Elder Primal Bahamut, now free, begins laying waste to everything. The god summoning ritual fails, and in his final moments, one of your noteworthy ally characters, an old scholar named Louis Sois, magically spirits the players forward in time to safety.
Yes,
Several months later, in 2013, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn would launch, and the 1.0 players would log into these shiny new 2.0 servers to find their characters reappearing 5 years after the calamity, in a much better game and a very different Eorzea. And now you're caught up. I hope you have enjoyed this little primer. I hope the added context makes the experience of A Realm Reborn even more enjoyable, and I hope I will see you tomorrow when we officially get this Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough started. Until then...
Okay, let's play the game. I had shivers at some point in the video. This is crazy. I can see why this guy is like this fucking god to people in Final Fantasy. Like, what the hell? Yoshi Pika! Transition from 1.0 to 2.0 is insane. What a way to kill your game. Never ever heard about this. It adds a completely different undertone to my upcoming experience. Honestly, I'm so glad I played this video. Square Enix was supporting the dying game as they were building the new one in the background. They also kept the story going in the old game, so it eventually ties together with the beginning of the new game. And they like made the whole thing of shutting servers into the lore. That's better than Netflix. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in, man. I'm so in. Yeah, this was great. I think, look, I'm ready to dive in.
Subscribe.